Welcome to the Seaman Report. This is Nikki Bootcamp. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. This is the wrong channel. I must have been mistaken. All right, I'm sorry. It just happens. So what up, Bam? Oh my God, this is just. It's like JT's taking over the channel. ET Lobster. Oh my God, dude. Like, you do this long enough, you start becoming JT. This is just what's happening. I'm reacting to Navy news. Like, all right, let's get into it. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all you military. If I can talk. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right into the topic. And that is, thanks to the Navy Times, we've learned about some very interesting news. The stuff that you wouldn't even think that you'd read. But literally after 10 years of being in the Navy, this stuff just doesn't surprise me anymore, because once you've been in long enough, you've heard enough crazy stories where literally just like you can't make it up. I bet you there could be enough novels written from naval stories, but this one is going down in the history book. So there is a LS3. Let me get his name right. That way it's blasted. That way people know who this guy is. I can't even say this. Johnson. An LS3 Johnson had the great idea that when you get a urinalysis done, it is randomized. And I know a lot of people worry about drug tests for going to MEPS or boot camp, but trust me, if you're going into the military, just don't do drugs. I know that sounds like it's a very hard task for some people, but just don't do them. Anyway, this LS3 thought it'd be a great idea to take the urine that he had provided and then light it on fire. He actually went into a building and lit it on fire and tampered with the evidence. And I want to say that this has got to be one of the most bold moves I've seen in a long time.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Come on, you guys. These little inserts, jokes. JT's taking over the channel. I don't know what's happening. I'm becoming JT soon. I just got no more content ideas. So this guy has pretty much ruined his chance of even bouncing back from a drug charge. To be honest, I have seen people that have been busted for smoking marijuana that have been able to come back and make their career, but it's very uncommon. And I'll give a few examples. I believe a couple years ago there was a Kind bar that had hemp seed in it, which was sold on base, which made people pop positive, and they started noticing it. So then they had to give a huge warning to everybody that they could not buy this Kind bar that was specific, that would make you pop positive. Weirdly enough, but yeah, it's kind of weird that something would be sold on base that you would think would not be something that would make you pop positive, but that's happened in the past. I'm sure whoever that was probably came back in or had their records corrected or whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because there are people that have been busted for drugs that you kind of hear through the grapevine where they have made it back in, but there's a whole messy situation of this. But this LS3 has pretty much guaranteed his fate of not staying in the military anymore. And this happened in Virginia. So I don't know what's going on in the water in Virginia. And mind you, he tried to set something on fire for evidence that was already going to be used against him. So now he's going to be pretty much charged with tampering with evidence and going into a building he didn't have authorized access to. Whereas he would have probably had an administrative, like, other than honorable separation, just whatever. Now he's probably gonna maybe have like a felony for tampering with evidence and stuff like that, because when you go to court-martial, which this probably is going to court-martial at this time, he's probably gonna end up with a felony charge for this. So you just kind of made your situation a little bit worse, LS3 Johnson. And I think the moral of this story, because every story has a silver lining, right? The moral of this story is, if you're already in trouble and you've been caught, own up to it. There's no point in lying anymore. You've already been caught, own up to it. Now, I do want to say there are a lot of people in the military that get themselves in trouble. I'm not going to go into this advice of sea lore to you, but I will say there are people in the military that also rat themselves out way before they would probably ever be caught. But that's a very interesting aspect of how the justice system works in the military when you have the UCMJ. So those people that get yourself in trouble, guess what? I am proud of you. You guys use honor, courage, and commitment, and you guys stick to your guns. Core values, that's what we're all about. So cringe. So cringy, but hey, you win some, you lose some. At least you have nothing to keep you awake at night. But as I said, there are tons of crazy sea stories, and some of you guys have already been in the Navy long enough to tell me a few. And definitely A school, you're gonna see a lot of this. People make dumb decisions even though they just graduated boot camp. It's the first little bit of freedom they get, and you're gonna see it. But let me know your stories in the comments down below so that we can see what you guys have been through. But as always, if you do have questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.